The market is nearing a correction period. It could even be a full fucking crash. It's coming, guys. It is. But is it going to come this week? We're going to have a look at the indices. We're going to look at our favorite stocks, all the technical analysis that you would want on this fucking fine Sunday. And better yet, we're going to have a look at some news that is coming out this week that you need to be mindful of. What's going on, everyone? I hope you are having a good time. I'm slightly hungover and I'm slightly horny. That's the reality of this Sunday morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at everything that I mentioned there. And the first thing that we're going to kick it off with is the indices. As you can see here, the S&P is flying. It has been flying for many, many weeks now, since April 25. It's incredible, the push. It's going to come to an end. But we're looking at this, the RSI. MACD. This MACD doesn't show signs of turning. Now, if we look, we can see when we went to these overbought territory, sell, sell, sell. Didn't get to that area and we sold off massively. Massively. So what's this telling me? Well, what it's telling me is there's no cross in the MACD. We can see here when this is sold, crossover, see here, crossed over. And even here, we were already on a downwards turn. If anything, this was your overbought territory. It did a bit of a bump, and then it sold off. We haven't crossed over yet. We've still got decent momentum in the RSI. If it's not this week, it's going to be soon. Very soon, unfortunately. And I'm just as gutted as you are. Now, if we look at the day chart, we can see a sell symbol has come in. Friday recovered pretty well, if you recall. But however, this little bad boy could spell the turn this week. So be mindful that this could turn this week. It could. Now, there's some data that we'll look at in a moment as well. But the NASDAQ, well, similar story. Sales are coming in. We've seen sales before and it's pushed on. Again, this is starting to cross over. But on the weekly, exact same scenario. Pushing hard. We are in this overbought territory just like we were here. And then it's sold. So, yeah, you're looking at it going, if it's not this week, it's next week. It's coming very, very soon. There's going to be a pullback. Now, is it going to be a pullback just like this? We will assess in due course. Reason to subscribe to the channel, because we'll keep you updated on that. Now, I know you just want me to look at the individual stocks, but before we do that, let's just have a look at what might affect the stocks this week. We can see here we have payroll data, and we can see here it's a crucial monthly jobs report. Friday, September jobs report is huge for the Fed outlook, but it would have to be awfully strong and accompanied by hot inflation data to seriously dent prospects of an October 29th easing. One jobs report doesn't usually change that much, though another Fed rate cut in December is far from assured. Economists suspect a 50,000 job overall payroll again, with private payrolls up 75,000 and government jobs down by 25,000. So we're watching for jobs data. We know it can affect the markets. I'm not really going to take much heed at it. I do personally think we're going to get another rate deduction. I think that's the narrative. We're pushing it out there. We're going for it. The jobs are something that we should be looking at, but I don't think it's going to really massively impact anything this Friday unless the indices are saying it's sell time. Now, Tesla reports deliveries as the EV credits wrap up. However, the 7,500 EV credit was still there, so we're expecting a strong delivery number in and around 448,000. That would be about 17% above the second quarter, which EVs have been declining as well as used cars in general. So it is in a sector that is seen as a luxury good. And when markets start to decline and people become more poor and their cashes get more strapped, these types of things, luxury cars, are going to take a hit. So it's an interesting one to see as a Tesla shareholder. I will be watching that and we will be looking at the technical analysis of Tesla in a moment. Earnings season's here, starting to kick us off already. It's always earnings season really, and it lasts for about a month. And before it's over, it's starting again. But either way, stock market perspective, data signals a strong Q3. S&P 500 earnings accompanies investors gear for the mid-October launch of the calendar Q3 reporting season. The net earnings revisions index and research showed net upwards versus downward revisions rebounded sharply, turning positive in August for the first time in 11 months and rising by late September to a 45-month high. So what does all this mean? Well, in my opinion, I think we're still going to get a bit of more of a push. I'm thinking in my head now, and it's only in my head, so it means fucking nothing really. But in my head, I'm thinking about November time. I think we're gonna crash. We're gonna definitely correct. this side of Christmas. There's no doubt in my mind about it. I'm just thinking that we're going to get a big push in the crypto market. We're going to get another push in the stocks. And I'm all in on that theory. And I'm just going to sit tight and relax. A lot of bad news out there, a lot of fear out there. But I'm just looking at the charts and I've ignored all the FUD. We used to talk a lot on this channel about fundamentals and this is going to affect this and how that will affect that. And while most of the time, yeah, there was certain news that would affect the markets, it was always a blip. It always lasted for like a day or two. And I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not too fearful. I am quite bullish on the market still. However, it is nearing. As I said at the start of this video, it is something to be mindful of and you should understand charts. And as a special bonus for you, we are doing the trading course, which has had hundreds of members sign up over the years. It is now £50 or the equivalent in dollars. £50. It's the cheapest we've ever done. And the reason I'm doing it so cheap is because I need money, guys. I'm broke. I'm skint. I need support for the channel. So if you want to learn how to trade, 50 notes, never going to be so cheap. And I need to put food on my table. So please consider supporting the channel and learning how to trade. 50 quid, the link's down below. Okay, so Abbat, let's kick it off. The hot stock, the stock that's been printing us money. Now, what have I been doing? Well, as I told in the Discord, I sold 5.3 or something, whatever it was. Sold a huge chunk of my position. I actually was going to keep my long hold position and do the swing trade. That's what I said in the last video. I've actually done the complete opposite of that because originally, for those that are long-term American battery or American battery metals as they were once upon a time, you couldn't buy them because they weren't in the NASDAQ and they weren't in the Russell. You had to buy them in the invest account and trade in 212 and not your ISA. Then when they became on the NASDAQ and the Russell, you can now buy them in your ISA. So I had an ISA, which was my swing position. And then I thought to myself, actually, what am I doing? I'm sick of going into this one section of an account just for one stock. I closed the entire position out, which turned out to be brilliant because it sold off as expected. It got to about 510, which was a level that we did talk about as potential really topping out at. So I'm happy with getting rid of that. I'm going to be buying back in, of course, especially because I've substantially reduced the position because of that whole getting it out of my invest account into my ISA. So what am I doing? Well, looking at this, you can see here on the 4-hour chart, we're bouncing along, but we're cooling off. The MACD is going on the downwards turn, which isn't ideal, but on the day chart we're still strong, still shows upward momentum. This RSI is cooling off. I foresee, although this is a bit of resistance and we are below these prices and there isn't a lot of people buying at these levels, I still feel as long as the markets are pushing on, that American battery technology is simply cooling and it is going to push. It's going to push hard, and I still fancy in the next couple of weeks, maybe a couple of days, who knows, but in the next fortnight, say, I could definitely see us pushing towards this $6 range, and that is something that I personally want to be a part of. So I'm looking to add into a position. I actually wouldn't mind a bit of a red day on Monday, get it closer to the 4, buy in, ride it up. So that's the plan with American battery technology. It's exciting stock, it's pumping hard, great fundamentals. We've done plenty of videos on it. Please go in and check those videos. Now, Prem or KODAL, which one? Both absolute dreams. We'll look at Prem first. RSI flat, right? Slap bang in the middle. No overbought territory, no oversold territory. Just sitting nice. What we're really liking though is this year, the volume, the large amount of volume coming in here, buying in all around these levels. We're kind of getting poised for a good jump. However, this MACD is going on the downturn. So we're watching for that closely this week. Obviously, with these Prem and KODAL stocks, we know like fundamentals, any good news comes out, it's going to pump hard. So you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But technically, we're sitting poised. Bad news, we're going to sink hard. Good news, we're going to pump hard. That is my opinion. And I do think that it's overdue a good run on the Prem, and I feel just with the wider market still continuing to push on over the next fortnight, I would imagine Prem will go in that direction too. We're actually looking at the American lithium sector and it is booming, big money getting pushed into it. The Chinese versus the Americans, we're Chinese backed, so there's a lot of rumbles around it. I'm hoping potentially we're going to see a good push. On the weekly chart, it is showing good strength, good upwards movement. So yeah, it's poised nicely. Don't expect anything too major this week unless we do get news. KODAL Minerals, however, on the weekly chart we'll kick it off with is a sell. We're selling off. We're looking like we're going to go down. That's on the weekly chart. again, we're waiting on that fundamental news. On the last video that I did on KODAL, I was getting a bit anxious about why it's taking so long. But if I actually sat back and thought a bit more about it, they weren't going to have a boat sitting at the docks ready to go. I don't know why I assumed that they would be able to get a boat there within sort of a week. Not going to happen. The average, large boat will take about 20 days, if not longer, to arrive if it's coming directly from China to, say, Africa. So you're looking at a 20-day period just for it to get there. We're not at that point yet. We're getting close to that point. So again, just like Prem, I'm thinking if we get news this week, it's going to pump, but the natural trajectory is starting to point downwards. However, all the indices, everything's well cooled off. If we get the news, we're going to pump, and I would hope and pray that we're going to get above these moving averages, because we really need to get above it, get us back into the bull market. And just actually to go back to Prem, we are in that bull run, by the way. This is a bull market we're in. We did cross above. It was talked about it, saying how bullish it was. So we're in a bull run. Very positive. Now we move on to Tesla, and apparently Elon Musk is being on Epstein's Island and getting caught up in all that horse shit, supposedly, allegedly. I don't know. It seems a bit weird. I'll just talk about it just at a high level. Obviously, no one has a freaking clue who's been on that bloody island, but it seems a bit strange to me that he was pushing to get these Epstein files released. Trump said he would do it when he got into the White House. He hasn't done that. They have fallen out, and Elon was quick to say the reason these haven't come out is because Trump's all over it. And then out of nowhere, we had announced yesterday that Elon's our. I don't know. I just think it's probably all bullshit. That's my gut telling me. But expect potential volatility, because you don't really want your CEO being talked around in the same breath as Epstein. It could be volatile tomorrow, and then the delivery numbers, as we discussed, could affect it. But we are probably a bit overbought. We did sell off a wee bit, cooled off. We could perhaps see with the Epstein stuff, and then the delivery numbers, we could see a sell off this week. So I'm going to potentially trim on Monday some of my position, just because I feel like we could fall down. I don't feel like it's going to fall down massively, but I just feel with all that news, take some profits. You never go broke taking profits. This one's for D. Take two. Take two. I opened up another position after being in it and out of it and hokey pokey all round. I just thought, get in, long hold it, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So any real red days, I'm just going to buy on this, and I'm just going to hold it for a long while, because when we look at how this has performed since when the last Grand Theft Auto came out, it pumped hard for years. It just was a great stock. So I just feel like, yeah, get the money in and hold this long for a few years. I think Take Two is going to do really, really well. Their PE ratios minus, they're losing money hand over fist. They're not in a great position, but I think that's just because of the outlay. We know what's coming. We know they're nearly at the end of this rainbow. The cash cow is going to start paying out. So I just feel, yeah, any good red days on Take Two, pay for it, buy it. But we are potentially looking to try and cross over a bit of momentum. So if the wider market goes well, could see Take Two push on this week. Just keep an eye on it. It's in a bull run. It still looks good. Plenty coming. Not too worried about it. I'm happy to buy more of that. I could go into more stocks, but I feel like that's the ones that most people that subscribe to my channel, which is only about 15% of you. So if you do watch my videos, if you can hit subscribe, get a wee bit more pumping going, that would be good for me. Don't forget, you can support the channel by Patreon or by the YouTube button, or if you want to really throw the money down, 50 notes. 50 notes. That's not a mistake. You heard right. It is 50 notes for the trading course. We will be creating a new one. That's the real reason behind the trading course being discounted heavily. It's going to be completely revamped over the next sort of 6 months. So I thought, you know what it is, let people get the bloody course for pretty much nothing, and it does go a long way to supporting me in a time of need. So yes, if you just want to get in the trading course, the link's down below. Please subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. I really appreciate everybody, and that's everything. I'm going to go and make a bit of dinner now, and yeah, I hope to speak to you all soon.